Good morning, it's Dorian Tassado at the Australian Traffic Network. At Crafers, the speeds are down to 80 kilometres on the freeway near the tunnels due to some heavy fog there. It's starting to build up into peak hour. Southbound Marion Road to Dawes Road is busy, as is southbound Portrush Road to Fowlers Road, and also southbound Taylor Road to Blythewood Road, Churchill Road to Regency Road, and Main North Road Nottage Terrace to Robe Terrace there. There's some roadworks to look out for today. Allenby Gardens Port Road near Rosetta Street, that's down to 40 kilometres northwestbound with a lane closure in place. Also Broadview Hampstead Road near Benjamin Street, that's down to 25 kilometres with a lane closure in place. I'm Dorian Tassado. That's the latest Adelaide traffic.
Dorian, thank you. Our listeners are there for me, David.
Give it yours.
Glenn said, would you like to borrow my harmonica to keep you busy in the big house? Thank you, Glenn. Hopefully it won't come to that. The weather for Adelaide today, I hope the rain does eventuate because we could certainly do with it. A cloudy day forecast for the city. There is the chance of a shower later this morning or in the early part of the afternoon. And as Dorian has just told us, there's a bit of fog around Crafers at the moment, so drive to the conditions. The Bureau is saying on the plains maybe 3 millimetres, in the Adelaide Hills maybe up to 10 millimetres of rain. The forecast maximum for Adelaide today is 14 degrees and at the moment in the city it's 8.8.
This is Breakfast
with Spence Denny
and David Bevan on ABC Radio Adelaide.
Now, every Wednesday we get together a group of federal politicians from South Australia to discuss the big issues. Avocado and Spence Denny, I'm sure, will surface. But let's welcome to our studio Sarah Hanson-Young from the Greens. Good morning to you.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Nick Champion from Labor. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
And on the phone line, Simon Birmingham, Liberal Senator for South Australia and Minister for Trade. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Now, yesterday on the program, Michael McCormack, the acting Prime Minister, handed out some advice to our listeners about being older and being out of work. And basically he was saying, have you considered moving?
Well, maybe they should also look to regional Australia. And I know I keep pushing this point, and I know it's with the derision of some in the media, but the fact is there are jobs in regional Australia. And I appreciate senior Australians sometimes are set in their ways as far as they've got the family home, they're living in the suburbs of Adelaide. I appreciate that's not for everybody, but for some, there are job opportunities out there if they just look. And, regional Australia has some high paying, and they're crying out for people, particularly people with life experience, which seniors have.
Nick Champion, Labor member for Spence, your electorate starts to move out into regional South Australia, but I think Mr McCormack was talking about far afield. What do you say? What would the people in your electorate say to Mr McCormack?
Well, I think it's an easy thing to say on radio. It's a harder thing to do in practice. Obviously, you need financial resources to go. You're obviously moving away from friends and family. I did a fair bit of fruit picking and the like in my youth. It was always a pretty wild adventure, and sometimes you got to farms and it was all good, and sometimes you got to farms and the shearers' accommodation and stuff was pretty ordinary, sometimes terrible. Sometimes the people you're working with wouldn't pay you. So it's all very well and good to say. The other thing is, I was only talking to a lady yesterday. She was 62. The government wanted to put her on Newstart. She'd just had 2 operations for arthritis. She was getting around in a moon boot. Is she really going to, at 62, with arthritis? And she'd been working in a chicken hatching farm just north of Gawler there, so she'd been working.
So she was used to physical labour.
She'd ruined her body, I think, doing it. Saying to her at 62, go off to a